How has this bus been today? Good bus again?
Pretty good. A little shaky sometimes, but not bad.
Another bus that's in pretty good condition, eh? I noticed.
Yeah, this one's pretty good.
So you're saying the driver that takes over after you sits for 15 minutes at Douglas Glen so he can basically have coffee and just read a paper or something. You may say, well, it's only 15 minutes, but that makes an awful lot of difference for you, right?
Yeah, well, basically, like last night we got down to Douglas Glen and I didn't take off right away.
Yeah.
Same with Riverbend at that time point.
What do you mean? Is the bus shaky at high speed now?
No, just sometimes when you're going around a curve and you're doing, you know, maybe 50 or 60. Just needs a front end alignment. So
I remember you telling me in one of the, when I was on your bus for the first time, aren't you retiring in 4 or 5 years, or what is it?
yeah, 5 years.
Yeah. So 2026, right?
Yeah.
These still might be around. You might get a few of these.
Well, I hope so. I hope I'm driving these right up until the day.
Or a 78 at least, right?
Yeah, well, these are the 77, 78, or 79s. I don't like the 8000s too much. They smell. Exhaust smell.
And they not so much the white 8000s, but I noticed the red ones smoke a lot when you take off,
Yeah,
which
it's
I'm...
about from 80-20 up to about 80-50. It's a high exhaust bus. They have a different filter system.
Yeah.
And it never should have been used. Because once the filter's saturated for the day, then you can smell the exhaust.
Because you say 80-60s through 80-95 is fine. These smoke a little bit sometimes, but they hardly at all smoke, especially for their age, right? Their filtering is pretty good.
Yeah, these ones are pretty good.
But sometimes on the buses, if you know, the bell goes off automatically when no one pushes it, eh? I've seen that before.
Yeah. Once or twice it's happened to me, not too often.
You know, the white 8000s are better, eh? Their filtering system is better than the later ones. I've been on a few of them and they don't smoke at all. The 75 filter system was bad, especially when they got really older, right?
Yeah, those were terrible.
The 75s I noticed on takeoff, they smoke like a chimney. Especially when it was really cold. Even on a hot summer day, they would smoke a lot on takeoff. You must get 3 or 4 minutes at Douglas Glen at least during the day, though.
Yeah. Yeah, I usually have 3, 4, sometimes 5, except for that last week.
That's the one, because that's when you're done by the time you get back, right?
Yeah, it's just to get me out of that dreaded overtime.
Have you had drivers on this route not show up for you, right? Like, or any particular route?
Yeah, lots of times. Just depends on if it's sometimes if it's a regular guy they miss their train. So if they're not there, I've been asked to just wait, with the bus until they get there. But they have to pay me to wait. Now he's like, 15, 20 late. But sometimes, you have to do a whole trip. And if you do a route like this, 72, 73, or some long route, it's like 2.5 hours overtime or double time.
You've probably been asked to just say, oh, can you work the rest of the shift but I mean, that would be bad if they asked you to go back to the garage with it, eh? That would be terrible.
It's happened before. And so I tell them if they want me to take it back to the garage, then they have to have a supervisor give me a ride.
Yeah. Back home. Yeah.
It's a good thing for her that I had to spend a couple of minutes there because she never rang the bell.
Yeah, and then what if you just had to blow? You would have blew right by if you were late.
Yeah, well, that's happened lots of times. You know, you go flying right by the stop and someone's yelling, "Hey, hey!" And I just tell them I'm not from the planet Betazoid. I can't read your mind.
Yes. Exactly.
A lot of times people see people at a bus stop, so they don't ring the bell because they just assume you're stopping there. But the person that's there, or the couple of people, they step back or they wave you on, and you keep going, and the other person goes, "Hey, hey, hey." Most of the time I'll pull over for them, but on a road like this, I don't know. It would depend on what time of day it is. But I just end up telling them, look, you know, it doesn't matter if there's people at the stop. Always ring the bell for the stop you want. Because if the people don't want that bus, the bus is just going to keep going.
We're getting off at Douglas and I'm switching up my routes today, enjoying the sunshine, sitting in the sun for a little bit.
So what route you gonna hop on?
Another Maxell. There's this person who's really nice and I haven't seen her for months, so we're gonna say hello, wait for the next bus, then I'll hop back on with you on your last trip if you don't mind. And don't say you're gonna kick me off the bus. I know you're just joking.
What if I do mind though?
Then we have a problem. He's a joker.
Well, then you could just get on the bus anyway and say screw you as you pull in.
I met a really cool driver today. He was cool with me filming. He was really interesting. Guy who works out at Spring Gardens doing a route 2. Me and him were talking and joking the whole time. It was fun. Wish me happy Easter and everything. I don't know if you've done Route 2 before, right? It goes to Calgary, it goes to downtown and that.
Yeah, I've done the Route 2 lots of times, but not for over 20 years.
Oh, a lot's changed now. Probably then. Today, you know, the Jimmies would pollute the air so much it would be unbelievable, eh? Probably driven them MCIs as well, right? They weren't bad when they were new.
Yeah, I like those.
Yeah. But I noticed as they got older, problems with oil leaks and stuff as well. They only brought them out for rush hours in the end. And school runs.
Yeah, they overheated a lot.
Engine stuff? The engine, eh?
Yeah.
So the coolant system wasn't very good then when they got older?
I don't know.
Yeah.
What it was, but the thing with that is once it overheated, it would just shut down.
it would just completely quit.
Oh yeah, all power gone, boom. Didn't matter where you were.
Would the Jimmies do that if the engine got hot?
No. If it's got a hot engine, then you just turn all the heaters on full blast and that would help. But you would have to call for a change-off because you can only do that so many times before it's going to shut down. But at least you've got, half an hour to an hour to figure it out.
I don't know if you know this about the 77s. When they overheat, do they just quit too, right? Or but I've seen some instant drivers would be down the road and the engine would start smoking because it would be too hot. I've seen it with some buses and the motor doesn't quit. You could be driving down the road with the alarm going off and the engine wouldn't shut down. It would just keep getting hotter and hotter till it's so overheated smoke is pouring out the back.
I remember a few years ago I was driving one of these and I got to Mountain Royal University. I was doing the Max Teal, or it was maybe back then it was still called the 306. Anyway, as soon as I pulled into the university station, I get a low coolant light come on. And I pulled into the stop and I got out and I went back and looked and there was antifreeze all over the place. And there was a big trail of it coming from the road into the station that I had made. So anyway, I called control, told them, and they said, we'll try to contain it and we'll call hazmat. So when the hazmat guys finally showed up, they said, yeah, we just followed your trail. And we knew exactly where you were going. And we just followed it right into they picked it up on 50th Avenue and then followed it in.
Yeah. You had no engine fire or anything, right?
No, it was just,
yeah.
Yeah, it was a leak that probably was very small.
But then got
bigger and bigger and bigger and then just dumped it.
I don't know how transit mechanics can't detect that. Sometimes you think they would, right?
Well, not really, because when if you checked it,
yeah,
and there's no leaks or anything, then it just looks fine.
Yeah.
It's just that, if the hose develops a small hole, well, you don't know until you actually get a hole.
How long did it take you to get a change off then?
Oh, about an hour.
And it's worse now because Anderson's not open, right? You have to wait from VP.
Yeah.
But in that case, they had to give you a bus out of Spring because there's like that one time, because there was no change-offs out of VP. That must have been a hassle for you. But a new bus to drive, give you a little bit of experience.
Yeah, but it was after a couple of hours I didn't mind so much, but it was just that third, it was like middle of winter, it's cold, it's icy everywhere, and I got to try to figure out this new bus.
But I mean, you know what, if something like that happens, as I said, that's when Anderson comes in handy, right? And they have a lot of the similar buses that they have out of VP, right? Yeah.